Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Only a few blocks down from this live video right here. If you follow my hand along the pier here and you walk about 3 or 4 blocks, I'm sitting right there right now doing this report. Well, hope your day is lovely. Beautiful day in South Florida again, but it usually is. Hey, let's take a look and see what's going on. And I hope you had a good weekend too, by the way. Our video last Thursday on gold, on silver being $35. Boy, that really took off. I think we had like 5,000 views. It's the most views I've ever had for one of my one-day videos. And for all the people out there that watched it, and for all the people that have been with me this far, I really appreciate it. It's nice to know that someone's listening out here. I'm usually thinking I'm talking to myself, which makes it much, much easier. I think if I had to look at the people that I'm actually talking to, I'd probably get stage fright and look like a deer in the headlights. Anyways, let's move along to what we're going to talk about today, which is what we talked about for the last several months. We don't talk about it all the time because that's so negative to talk about manipulation, market manipulation. You know, of course we know the game is rigged, but if we don't play, we can't win. So, but we are going to talk about how these markets are manipulated because it has a lot to do with our gold and silver investments or our gold and silver holdings or whatever we may view them as. Whether you view it as your survival package or whether you view it as a hedge against dollars or whether you view it as a great investment that may double up or triple up someday. That could be your opinion, whatever you think. But manipulation does play its part for all of us. And a couple articles I want to touch on here. One is, by the way, I don't get paid by Zero Hedge. They don't give me a free subscription for talking about their site here. I used to be a big Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg and all the fans, but what I discovered over the years is I was just becoming a big sheep listening to their single narrative. What I like about Zero Hedge and a lot of other online publications that aren't corporate big and have a single narrative is that they give you different narratives and they let you figure it out for yourself. If you're smart enough, you can figure it out for yourself. Corporate news gives you a single narrative, and that's it. That's it. And I just got sick of reading it. But anyway, enough of that. Silver squeeze hits London as SLV warns of limited available silver. This was just up on ZH this last week on February 14th. Written by Ronan Manley from BullionStar.com. And I've been talking about this for several months here. That the London doesn't have the silver to cover the ETFs or anything, and that ETFs are full of crap. And actually, if you watch the last few videos, you'll see we've been discussing that, and we've discussed it again for several months. But again, I didn't invent this. Ted Butler gets all the credit for talking about ETFs not having enough silver to cover their paper, and the problems with COMEX not having enough silver or gold to cover their contracts, and how it really is primarily a paper market. Again, I learned that from Ted Butler. If you get a chance, Google, or as I like to do, DuckDuckGo, because it's a private search engine, or a private search engine. I like DuckDuckGo. And DuckDuckGo, Ted Butler's name. Put in Ted Butler Silver, and you'll find a whole bunch of really cool articles that talk about this exact stuff. Again, I didn't invent it, neither did this guy, but it's something to talk about because it has a big effect on the price of precious metals. What did I kind of see down here? Again, I suggest you take a read on this. Silver squeeze hits London as SLV warns of limited available silver. And again, it's exactly what it says right there. That's that headline basically says it all. But let me take a look. Unable to acquire sufficient silver. Adding 3,416 tons of silver to SLV between 29th of January and 2nd of February is not something that J.P. Morgan can easily claim to do again. And I like how J.P.'s name pops up with silver all the time. So kind of interesting, huh? The demand for silver may temporarily exceed available supply that is acceptable for delivery to the trust, which may adversely affect an investment in the shares. Again, it's just stuff we've talked about a long time here that seems to be coming up more and more in mainstream news, and more people are paying attention to it. We'll read the kind of end of it here. If the short squeeze on GameStop caused fireworks among a few hedge funds on Wall Street, we hate to think what a short squeeze on the global silver supply will look like as hedge funds wake up to the possibility that SLV... Now, folks, here's the key word, and Ronan gets this completely right in this article. Global silver will look like as hedge funds wake up to the possibility that SLV cannot acquire sufficient silver acceptable for delivery to the trust. And again, that's the issue there. They don't have the silver to back their paper, and at some point these ETFs are going to get squeezed. And what happens if they get squeezed? Will they go out of business? I don't know. Will someone bail them out? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Let's take a look at another article on Zero Hedge. A lot of silver articles going on, and that leads me to believe that we're going to see some real movement in the metal pretty soon, I believe, unless this happens constantly, which has been happening for a while now. Silver in London's underground vaults is running low. Derivative powers that are on full defense, going on various fiat bubble vision show, trying to, again, just kind of same stuff we've been talking about on our show for the last several months. And a little blurb down here I kind of highlighted. While the media continually wants to spin this ongoing silver squeeze, playing it off as a mere retail bullion buying populism, the underlying truth is that we will likely continue to see larger financial players, commercial users, and perhaps even sovereign nations enter into the fray. So, as long as these markets have been monkey hammered, manipulated by big players like JP and some other big players out there, they can only do it so long before what's happening right now is what's happening is people are demanding physical silver. You've got investors out there buying physical silver. You've got people, average Joes and Janes out there buying silver and gold right now. People understand what's happening with the currency. They don't want to be sitting on a dollar that just is going to continue to decline in value. And where are you going to put your money? At a bank for like 0.05% or 1% if you got lucky on some special deal? You can't even keep up with the cost of living with that. So silver and gold are looking, all commodities are actually looking like a great hot possibility coming up here soon. We may see the decade of bull market of commodities, which have been ignored for some time. Gasoline, gold, silver. So I think physical commodities, not fiat, not bitcoins and paper gold and that kind of thing. I believe that physical commodities that people can actually physically own or know that they have a piece of paper that guarantees they own it, are going to be the next hottest market for the next 10 years, I believe. I think commodities markets in general, physical commodities, tangible commodities, are going to fly right through the roof here. And when I say that kind of stuff, again, I'm talking about gold, silver, platinum, all the different metals, uranium, gasoline, you name it. I think we're going to see a huge up in the next decade and that kind of stuff. And we're in a great place with silver and gold because silver, out of all of them, has been kept the lowest. It's the most monkey hammered out of all the metals. So I think it has the greatest potential upside of all the metals as well. Well, not all of them, but most of the precious, all of the precious metals. I think it has the greatest upside. Not all metals in general. Anyway, let's move along. Anyways, I said it. There I go. My first anyway of the day. Let's see, we looked at so this is an interesting article. I like the headline. Silver's about to tear people's faces off. Woo! I'm not quite sure what that means, but it got my attention. Again, we just talked about it, that article too. Silver in London's underground vault is running low. So we've covered those articles. Just a quick run over on ZH here. Again, not paid by them, like them just because they offer so many different stories and so many different viewpoints and so many different opinions, rather than the typical corporate single narrative and single opinion, or maybe two if you're lucky. You'll get two opinions, and one they usually make fun of, and because they're trying to promote a particular narrative. So let's take a look at ZH here. Exposing Robinhood scam. Here's how much Citadel paid to Robinhood to buy your orders. Well, who didn't know that? All the Robinhood people knew that. They knew the game was rigged. And again, they're still playing because they know it's rigged, but they know how it's rigged now. And once you know how it's rigged, you have a good chance of winning, or a better chance of winning. So, oops, sorry about that. You got to see my cat background screen. Climate war accelerates, a market crash and high inflation. Again, kind of all negative looking news. This is very interesting. Does the world need a gold-backed Deutschmark? Well, it'd certainly be interesting to see some country go back to a gold-backed currency, or a silver-backed, or a commodity, or a tangible-backed currency, whereas it seems like everyone's going to an electronic fiat now instead of a piece of paper. Now they want you to have a digital electronic fiat currency like Bitcoin and those kind of things. I think the world is being groomed to get rid of their paper dollars and trade them in for electronic dollars. That's what I really think, and I think that's a bad thing overall. Does the world need to go back to a dollar, though, or Deutschmark, or peso, or whatever? Absolutely. I think that whatever country came out and did a physical bill, like we used to have in this country one time when our currency was backed by gold and silver, has a bill that says this bill is payable in gold or silver, which means that if I take this bill to the U.S. Mint or someone, they'll give me that much in silver eagle or that much in gold or something that is redeemable in a real, tangible, non-fiat form of a commodity of some sort, or real money like gold and silver. So absolutely, the first country that comes out with a currency backed by gold and silver will knock it out of the ballpark. Everyone will want it. Everyone. So if it's done right. If it's done right, again, I hope it's not China. Not that I don't love the Chinese people. I love Chinese people. I just hate their government. And I don't feel too dissimilar with my own sometimes. So love my country, love my people of all different types of political flavors, just don't like my government. And I feel the same way about China. That's why I said that. But no less, whoever does it first will be the big winner. And I'm thinking it's going to be some country we don't think about very much, and maybe a small country. It'd be nice to see the Swiss go back into to back their currency, or go back into a gold-based currency. The Swiss would knock it out of the park, and they got a history of it too. So a lot of people would flock to that real quickly. Again, just my opinion. I'm kind of went off track there a little bit. Russia boasts European partners will help defeat U.S. efforts to sink Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Again, major economics, and this has a lot to do. Think about this. This is the commodities I'm talking about: gasoline, oil. I believe they all know this, that right now is a great time to get in a good position to produce as many commodities, metals, oils, whatever it may be, corn, food. This is a great time for physical, tangible commodities, I think. Again, I believe we're going to be in a 10-year bull market or more for tangible commodities. That's just my opinion. Let's see, I'm tired of reading that kind of stuff. Energy trader, we've officially hit holy shit levels in the oil business. Again, what we were just talking about. It looks like people are predicting that we're going to see super high oil prices and natural gas prices coming up soon. I won't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Really not too much here. I went over a little bit earlier. Not too much to talk about here that has a lot to do with silver, except the headlines. Take a look at that: silver, silver, and silver. And we just covered all three of those. Let's see here. Oh, I moved back there. And I'm going to move on to what I think are the spot prices today. And I'll tell you why I'm basing spot prices on this right here. I believe gold is at 1900. I'm calling this the physical spot price. Because Brian's, or whatever you want to call it, let's just call it Brian's physical spot price. And I'm calling gold at $19.18 plus, and I'm calling silver at $31 plus. And I'm going to show you how I kind of derived this number here. And I'm just using the cost in the typical cost and the average cost of what we paid for these products in the past, and subtracting that from the current prices. And read how I come up with that price. I'm going to use AppMex because I can use the other big online sellers like JM and SD. And by the way, I can beat all their prices. They're great big companies, and they're great companies. But if you can buy local like you can with me here in town, or you can buy local in your own area, I always recommend buying local. Keeps the money local. But again, if you have to buy from an online company, I can beat their prices too. AppMex, JM, and SD seem the biggies out there. And I'm going to use AppMex as an example to keep this one short so I don't keep popping from one to one. Although all three of those companies, again, every day I will beat any one of their prices if I can get the product or have the product. But all three of them can do the same thing with each other. One usually is a little higher, a little lower on their products than the other. But I kind of use AppMex for my example today, just to kind of give you an idea. I'm going to use the maximum quantity that they show here. If you bought 100 plus gold Krugerrands, Eagles, because KR is not available right now. They got a price of $1986.29, and basically what I did is I just took that $1986.29 and I subtracted around $60 from it, because Eagles typically wholesale. Let me use a $50 figure, kind of, or let's use $50. Cost was usually around $50. And it's probably a little bit higher right now on gold American Eagle. So if you subtract $50 from that price, well, what do you get? You get close to this price right here, $19.18. And it's kind of just an average that I'm using. But again, typically American Eagles have always been wholesale around $50, $60. I think they've wavered between $45 and $65 on a wholesale basis. And then retail people have paid anywhere from $65 to $85 typically for American Eagles. And they're the priciest of all the products. So I'm going to use the typical average prices that we've had for the last 20 years. And again, subtract that from the current gold price, or from what they're asking right here, 1986. It puts us in that 1918 level, as I said. And these prices right here for Eagles, again, I can beat this price, I can beat their prices here, but this seems to be typical for all the sellers out there in this price range right here. Maybe a little bit cheaper with a couple of the other sellers, but again, I think gold's $100 higher than what we're showing, at least for physical it is. And I'm going to go into my reasoning for silver as well. Same exact thing. I took the lowest price on two different products. Let me see if I showed the other. Nope. I took the product $32.97 and $40.77, and I used the average. Silver Eagles have typically been around for the last 20 years. If I'm going to do an average on a wholesale cost, I'm going to say around close to $3. I'm going to bump it up a little bit. So let's just use $3 as a round number and subtract $3 from what they're selling them for, and that puts us, or hold on, not $3. That's I'm talking about retail. I'm sorry, wholesale. Because I was giving you wholesale numbers. Wholesale 1 ounce rounds have typically cost me around about $1.50 per ounce. Let's say $1.50 per ounce. So if I subtract that from $33, basically that puts us at that $31 level. And I know where I get confused here. I was talking about Silver Eagles. Not hard to do when you're doing a show that's not scripted, folks. So if I digress a little bit or screw up, forgive me. But again, as far as silver goes, with generic 1 ounce silver is typically always trading about $1 less or so, maybe $1.50 wholesale. That puts it at that $31 level. And that's what I'm kind of showing for silver. And again, same thing with Silver Eagles. If you look at the price of Silver Eagles, they've always been typically like $3 wholesale or thereabouts, $2.50, $3 on the wholesale level, closer to $2.50, I guess. But again, look at the premium on that. And so I'm going to call the spot prices on gold officially at $19.18 officially for me, and silver at $31. I don't think people are trading on this level, thinking of it this way like I am right here. But obviously, they are definitely trading based on this level, because look at the prices. The prices don't lie. This is actually what they're getting for it. And again, if you subtract the typical average wholesale price of what wholesalers have paid for the last 10 or 20 years on these products, and you use that number and you subtract it what they're currently getting, it kind of tells you how big of a premium this stuff is right now. So, let's take a look at the spot prices and seeing what's happening here. Give me 1 second here. Let me do a quick refresh. I use CCE. It's a paid subscription service. Love it. Been with them for like 30 or 40 years, but it's wholesale only. They only allow other dealers on there. Platinum, just going crazy, but we'll get to that in a moment. Looks like gold at 18, 20, 30. Trading in that 18.15 to 18.30 range. Man, as I said, it's really like $1,900 plus, $100 more than what we're showing here. And look at silver, $27.63. You can't get it. It costs you $40 for Silver Eagles or $32 for 1 ounce generic products that should only cost, let me see, $28.50 or so wholesale, or $29 at the most wholesale. And again, look at the retail levels on that stuff. It's just crazy. Platinum doing its own thing, $12.95. Man, I'm just blown away by platinum. I thought silver would catch up with gold before platinum did, but obviously not. If you looked at platinum about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it wasn't like around $1,100 or less, I believe. So not much news on platinum too. You're reading up $41 since Friday too. Wow. I'm holding on to some platinum. We haven't sold much here, but I've been saying for months I think platinum is really super cheap, and it's starting to make its move. And silver, like I said, and gold, just not. Gold had already kind of made its move. It's made its up movement. It's broken its high twice already. Silver is still yet to break its all-time high. Just hasn't done it. Again, gold did it twice last year. Silver hasn't done it, and platinum moving its way back up, but certainly not near its all-time high either. So I think silver and platinum are really cheap metals in my opinion, and they still are. And it's a good opportunity to buy. Whether it's artificially kept down or and you see these dips, just buy the dips, buy it at this artificial price, and buy physical. That's just my opinion. Anyways, this is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. If anything crazy happens today, I'll come back on and do another report. If not, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Meanwhile, have a great day and talk to you soon. Bye now.